A message you can use to explain your project to Notebook LM and inquire about how to maximize your use of the Assistant API and other OpenAI technologies. Message to Notebook LM. We are in the process of developing a sophisticated AI-driven system involving natural language understanding, NLU, Google Cloud Vision API integrations, and an interpreter model designed to automate and enhance complex workflows. Our goal is to create an intelligent system capable of interpreting visual and textual data, making informed decisions, and automating tasks seamlessly. Additionally, we are looking to maximize the capabilities of OpenAI's technology stacks, particularly the Assistant API, to enhance the AI's conversational understanding and decision-making capabilities. Our short-term goals involve refining the AI's ability to handle label detection and image analysis with Google Cloud Vision API. In the midterm, we're focused on integrating this visual data with NLU capabilities to create more context-aware interactions. Long-term, we aim to build an AGI-like system that autonomously learns and adapts to new tasks, continuously improving its performance and expanding its functionality. Here's what we're particularly interested in. 1. Assistant API customization. We're exploring the possibility of creating a custom-trained AI model through the Assistant API that is more intimately familiar with our project. Can you explain how we can set up a specialized AI model for our interpreter, one that is pre-trained on all our relevant documents and workflows, so that it doesn't start from scratch every time? How do we train it, feed it specific knowledge, and ensure its responses are customized to our ongoing project needs? 2. Maximizing API utilization. We currently use OpenAI APIs for generic tasks, but we'd like to explore how to make full use of their potential, particularly for managing long-term memories, advanced decision-making, and workflow automation. Are there specific OpenAI technologies, like the Assistant API, GPT engineering, or others, that we are currently underutilizing for these goals? 3. Book LM and content summarization. Since we're generating large amounts of content and AI-driven workflows, how can we use Notebook LM to summarize complex tasks, conversations, and project updates in a way that Here's a concise message you can send to Notebook LM. I'm building an AI system that integrates OpenAI's Assistant API, Google Cloud Vision API, and an interpreter for workflow automation and decision making. I've uploaded a detailed document outlining the project and would like your help with setting up the Assistant API, including file search, function calling, and code interpreter. Please guide me through each step to optimize the system's capabilities. This should get things started efficiently.
buckle up. We're diving headfirst into the world of AI assistants. And I know you're not just here to dip your toes. You want to build one yourself.
Exactly.
And luckily, our source... All right, dive TFT hiking trips.
Okay.
And let me tell you, the possibilities are mind-blowing. All right, dive team, buckle up. We're diving headfirst into the world of AI assistants. And I know you're not just here to dip your toes. You want to build one yourself.
Exactly.
And luckily, our source material today is straight from the source OpenAI's documentation on their Assistants API.
Yeah, exciting stuff.
No, I've been tinkering with this stuff myself. And let me tell you, the possibilities are mind-blowing.
Really?
Forget just chatting with an AI. We're talking about crafting its personality, its skill set, basically teaching it to be your ultimate digital sidekick.
It's true, this API is like being handed the keys to the AI kingdom. It's no longer about passively using pre-built AI.
Right.
It's about actively shaping its abilities to fit your vision.
So before we get lost in the possibilities, let's break down exactly what this Assistants API is. Imagine this, you've got an app for, say, planning hiking trips.
Okay.
Now you could just have it show trail maps, right?
Right.
But what if it had an AI assistant that could suggest routes based on your skill level?
Wow.
Pack your virtual backpack with the right gear.
Oh.
Even check the weather forecast and warn you about trail closures.
Precisely. It's about weaving AI directly into the fabric of an app's experience.
Yeah.
Need a language learning app to have a patient encouraging tutor. Want a finance app with an AI that analyzes your spending habits and suggests budgeting tips. This API allows you to build AI assistants that are tailor-made for a specific purpose.
And the best part is, you don't need to be a coding wizard to get started.
No.
The API makes it surprisingly user-friendly.
It really does. And to give you even more control, OpenAI lets you tap into the power of their language models, like the impressive GPT-4.
Okay.
This is the engine that allows your assistant to understand and respond to your requests with incredible accuracy and nuance.
Okay. I know we said no jargon. I can't resist geeking out for a second, GPT-4. That's the one that can understand images now, right?
That's the one.
We're talking about AI that can look at a picture of a handwritten recipe and tell you what it is.
Exactly. And not only that, it can analyze that image and understand the context.
Oh, well.
So imagine you're building a cooking app. Your assistant could guide a user through that recipe step by step, even offer substitutions for ingredients based on dietary restrictions, all from a single image.
All right, I'm fully back on the hype train.
I like it.
But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's talk about how this actually works. OpenAI provides these amazing pre-built tools that your assistant can use, like the code interpreter.
Yeah.
Can you unpack that one for us?
Absolutely. Imagine giving your AI its own coding department. The code interpreter allows the assistant to write and execute Python code. This means it can do some really powerful things like data analysis and even generate code snippets based on a user's request.
So if I'm trying to wrap my head around a mountain of spreadsheet data,
Yeah,
my AI assistant could analyze it for me and pull out the key insights.
exactly.
No more late nights drowning in numbers.
Exactly. Let's say you're comparing hiking boot sales over the last year. Your AI assistant equipped with the code interpreter could analyze that data, identify sales trends, and even generate visualizations like charts and graphs, all within your conversation. It's like having a personal data analyst on call 24/7.
Okay, that's seriously cool. But how does the assistant know what kind of code to write?
Right.
How do we make sure it's not just spitting out random Python gibberish?
That's where instructions come in.
Okay.
It's one of the most important aspects of building your assistant. Essentially, you provide the AI with a set of guidelines, a kind of rule book that dictates how it should behave and respond. It's how you instill the AI with a specific purpose and personality.
So for our hiking app, we'd give it instructions on how to analyze trail data, consider user preferences for difficulty and distance, maybe even throw in a bit of that classic trail guide humor.
Precisely, the instructions are your way of shaping the AI's expertise and communication style. It's what makes your AI unique and tailored to your specific needs.
This is starting to feel incredibly powerful,
Powerful stuff.
but we still got more to uncover.
Oh, yeah.
Besides the code interpreter, what other tools does OpenAI provide to supercharge our AI assistants?
Well, remember all those documents, spreadsheets, and presentations you've got stored away.
Oh yeah, too many.
OpenAI gives your assistant access to those with the file search tool. Once you upload your files, The assistant can search through them, understand their contents, and even answer questions based on the information within them.
Hold on, so if I upload, say, a company's product documentation to my assistant's file library,
Yeah.
it could handle customer support questions about those products.
It's like giving your AI assistant a photographic memory for all your important documents and data. This is a game changer for things like customer service, technical support, even research. Instead of digging through mountains of files, your AI assistant can instantly access and understand the information it needs to provide quick, accurate answers.
Okay, that's two incredibly powerful tools down, and I can already feel the future is now vibes.
Yeah.
But I'm sensing a theme here. OpenAI likes to give our AI assistants options, don't they?
They do, and it's about to get even more interesting. We've talked about the tools built into the Assistants API, but what if you want to connect your AI assistant to something custom, something you've built yourself?
Now that you mention it, I was wondering how this whole thing could work with my top secret project, a robot that makes the perfect cup of coffee.
Well, get ready to be amazed. OpenAI provides a tool called function calling, which essentially allows your AI assistant to interact with external services APIs, or even, dare I say, coffee-making robots.
Whoa, hold the phone. I need a minute to process this.
Okay.
So with function calling, my assistant could not only recommend the perfect coffee based on my mood,
Yes.
but it could also tell my robot barista to start brewing all without me lifting a finger.
You catch on quickly. This is where the real magic of custom AI comes to life. Function calling lets your assistant tap into a world of possibilities beyond the pre-built tools, making it incredibly versatile and powerful.
All right, we've covered a lot of ground already, and I have to say, this is some seriously impressive stuff. We've got AI assistants analyzing data, searching files, even brewing coffee. But before I get too carried away daydreaming about my automated caffeine utopia, I think it's time to break down how we actually build one of these incredible AI assistants. What are the steps involved? Where do we even begin?
Don't worry, it's much simpler than you might think. The OpenAI documentation actually lays out a very clear and straightforward 4-step process.
Oh.
It's like following a recipe for AI creation.
Okay, I love a good recipe, especially if it involves less baking soda and more lines of code. So what's the first ingredient on our AI assistant recipe card?
First, you need to define your assistant's purpose and personality by giving it a name, a detailed description of its role, and most importantly, those all-important instructions we discussed earlier. This is like giving your AI assistant a job description outlining its responsibilities and how it should approach its tasks.
So in the case of our hiking app assistant, we tell it something like, you are a friendly and knowledgeable hiking guide here to help users discover the perfect trails and plan their next adventure.
Exactly, and you can get as specific as you need with those instructions. Do you want it to focus on recommending family-friendly trails or challenging climbs?
Right.
Should it prioritize scenic views or historical landmarks? This is where you really get to tailor its expertise.
Okay, step 1 complete.
Right.
We've given our AI assistant its purpose in life. What's next on the agenda?
Well, just like a good conversation, every interaction with your AI assistant needs a starting point. That's where threads come in. Think of a thread as a dedicated channel for a specific conversation or task.
So if I'm planning a week-long hiking trip, I'd start a thread for that,
Right.
and the assistant would remember all my previous requests and preferences within that thread.
Precisely. This allows for a more natural and continuous interaction with your AI assistant. It can remember what you've discussed, what you've asked, and even what you've already decided, so you don't have to keep repeating yourself.
This is sounding less like talking to a machine and more like collaborating with a really organized hiking buddy.
I like it.
Okay, we've created our assistant, defined its purpose, and started a thread. What comes next in our AI building adventure?
Now comes the fun part, sending messages. This is how you interact with your AI assistant, just like texting a friend. You send your requests, questions, or instructions as messages within the thread.
So I could send a message like, find me a challenging hiking trail near Seattle with stunning views.
Yeah,
And my assistant would use everything it knows, the instructions I provided, the files I've uploaded, even its access to external information to come up with the perfect recommendation.
exactly. It takes all of that into account to provide you with the most relevant and helpful response.
This is blowing my mind. It's like having a team of experts, a coder, a researcher, a personal assistant, all rolled into one AI-powered package.
And we haven't even gotten to the best part yet.
Wait, there's more. You're kidding. Don't leave me hanging on a cliffhanger like that.
Don't worry, we'll dive into the grand finale after a quick break. Stay tuned.
All right, team, welcome back. Before the break, we left off with a bit of a cliffhanger. We've walked through the first 3 steps of building an AI assistant with OpenAI's API, defining its purpose, creating a thread, and sending it messages. But what happens next? What's the final ingredient in this AI recipe?
Well, after you've sent your message, the real magic happens. The fourth and final step is to run the assistant. This is where it takes all the information you've given it, your instructions, the message you just sent, and any relevant files or tools it has access to, and generates a response.
So it's like hitting send on that message and letting the AI assistant work its magic.
Precisely. It processes everything, consults its internal knowledge base, and crafts a response tailored to your specific request. It's like having a super efficient intern who instantly understands your needs and delivers exactly what you're looking for.
This whole process is so much more streamlined than I expected. I have to admit, I came into this deep dive expecting a steep learning curve, but with OpenAI handling all the complex backend stuff, it feels like the barrier to entry for building custom AI has never been lower.
That's the exciting part. It's becoming more and more accessible, which opens up a world of possibilities. Think about all the ways AI assistants could empower small businesses, educators, even artists.
Absolutely. Okay, we've covered the 4 main steps of building an AI assistant, but now I want to circle back and dig a little deeper into the tools we touched on earlier. We talked about the code interpreter and file search, but you hinted that there was another way to give our assistants even more capability, something about function calling and my dream of an AI-powered coffee robot.
Yes. Function calling is where things get really interesting. Remember we talked about how the code interpreter lets your assistant write and execute Python code? Well, function calling takes that a step further by allowing your assistant to interact with external systems and APIs.
Okay, for those of us who don't speak fluent tech jargon, can you break that down a bit? What do you mean by external systems and APIs?
Think of it this way, an API or application programming interface is like a messenger that allows different software applications to talk to each other. So with function calling, you can essentially give your AI assistant the ability to send messages to other apps and services.
So instead of just living inside its own little AI world, my assistant could reach out and interact with the real world through these APIs.
Exactly. Let's say you're building a travel planning app. Your AI assistant could use function calling to connect to a flight booking API, a hotel reservation API, even a weather forecasting API. It could pull in all that real-time information and use it to create a personalized itinerary for your users.
Okay, I'm starting to see how powerful this could be. It's like giving your AI assistant a direct line to any service or information available online.
And it's not just about retrieving information. Function calling can also be used to trigger actions. Remember your coffee-making robot?
How can I forget my caffeinated dreams depend on it?
Well, with function calling, your AI assistant can send a command to your robot barista to start brewing your favorite latte as soon as your alarm goes off in the morning.
All right, that's it. I'm sold. Function calling officially gets the most likely to improve my quality of life award in the world of AI assistant tools. But before we start planning our AI-powered world domination, we need to address the elephant in the room, or rather the massive amount of data that these AI assistants need to function. We've talked about uploading files for file search, but how does the assistant actually make sense of all that information? How does it know what's relevant and what's not?
That's where vector stores come into play. Think of a vector store as a highly organized and searchable knowledge base specifically designed for AI.
So it's more than just dumping all my files into a digital Dropbox and hoping for the best.
Much more, when you upload files to your AI assistant, OpenAI uses some really clever technology behind the scenes to make that information easily digestible for your AI. They break down those files into smaller chunks of text, and then they use something called embeddings to represent the meaning of those chunks mathematically.
Embeddings.
Well,
yeah, you lost me there for a second. Can we rewind and unpack that term?
of course, imagine you have a giant library full of books and you want to find all the books about, say, the history of coffee. You could search by title or author, but that might not give you the most relevant results.
Especially if some of those books have really vague titles like A Brief History of Beans or something equally unhelpful.
Exactly. That's where embeddings come in. Instead of just looking at the words themselves, embeddings capture the underlying meaning of those words and phrases. So even if a book doesn't explicitly say coffee in the title, the embeddings would recognize that it's about the history of coffee based on the other words and phrases used in the book.
Okay, that makes sense. So it's like giving the AI assistant a deeper understanding of the content beyond just recognizing keywords.
Precisely, and the beauty of it is that OpenAI handles all of this complex embedding stuff for you. You just upload your files and the AI knows how to make sense of them.
So I don't need to be a data scientist or a machine learning expert to take advantage of this.
Not at all. OpenAI has made it incredibly user-friendly. They've taken care of all the heavy lifting so you can focus on what really matters, designing and building incredible AI assistants.
This is all starting to feel very future is now, and I'm loving it, but we've been so caught up in the excitement of building these AI assistants. I think we need to take a step back and talk about the bigger picture for a moment. We're talking about giving these AI tools access to vast amounts of data, the ability to interact with the external systems, even the power to control physical devices. What are the implications of all this? And more importantly, what does it mean for us?
Those are incredibly important questions, and we're just beginning to scratch the surface of what's possible with this technology. But I think it's safe to say that AI assistants are poised to transform the way we live, work, and interact with the world around us.
I couldn't agree more. But before we delve into the profound implications of AI on society, I think it's time for another quick break. We'll be back in a flash to discuss the future of AI and what it means for all of us. Don't touch that dial. Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We've been on quite a journey today, exploring the ins and outs of OpenAI's Assistance API.
It has been quite a journey.
We've seen how this powerful toolset lets us build custom AI assistants, giving them a voice, a brain, and even a set of hands to interact with the world.
It's true. We've gone from defining their core purpose and personality to giving them the ability to analyze data search through mountains of information and even control other applications and devices.
We even touched on the incredible potential of vector stores, which act like a supercharged knowledge base for our AI assistants. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, I think it's time to bring things back down to earth for those listening who are eager to dive in and start building their own AI assistants. What are some key takeaways they should keep in mind?
That's a great question. I think the most important takeaway is that building custom AI is no longer a far-off dream with OpenAI's Assistance API. It's becoming increasingly accessible to anyone with an idea and a bit of curiosity.
I wholeheartedly agree. You don't need to be a coding genius or a machine learning expert to harness the power of AI. OpenAI has done a fantastic job of simplifying the process, providing clear documentation, intuitive tools, and a supportive community to guide you along the way.
And don't be afraid to experiment. The beauty of custom AI is that it's all about exploration and discovery. Start with a simple idea. Play around with different instructions and tools and see what you can create. You might be surprised by what you can achieve.
I love that. Embrace the experimentation, the trial and error. That's where the real magic happens. Now, we've covered a lot of ground today, from the technical nitty-gritty to the mind-blowing possibilities. But before we wrap things up, I want to leave our listeners with something to ponder. We've talked about how AI assistants can analyze data, automate tasks, and even make decisions for us. But what does it mean to bring these AI companions into our lives? How will they reshape the way we work, learn, and connect with each other?
Those are profound questions, and I don't think there are any easy answers, but I believe that AI, when used thoughtfully and ethically, has the potential to enhance our lives in countless ways. Imagine a world where AI assistants help us overcome language barriers, bridge knowledge gaps, and create a more inclusive and accessible society.
It's an exciting vision, and one that I believe is within our reach as we continue to explore the frontiers of AI. It's crucial that we do so with a sense of responsibility, always considering the ethical implications and striving to create AI that benefits all of humanity. And on that note, we'll leave you to contemplate the boundless possibilities and important considerations of this incredible technology. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep into the ever-evolving world of knowledge.